What's up? It's your favorite FPL YouTubers back at it with another Game Week preview and analysis video, this time for Double Game Week 29. I'm Jarrett, and this is How to FPL.
Welcome everybody. Doherty and Salah definitely looking hot this game week, so
Absolutely.
get into the action.
So, recapping my performance from last week, my rank went up about 10k places to around 40k now, which is pretty exciting. Green arrows are always good. My Liverpool defenders put in pretty good performances. Aït-Nouri and Luka Dean also surprisingly got pretty good hauls, especially given that they didn't play in their first games of the double game week. Reece James obviously got a mega haul. Unfortunately, I had the vice captain on him, not the captain. Salah blanked, but we still have faith in him. Obviously, he's having an incredible season. Coutinho with a mega haul of 23. Rafinha sucks. Kane got another haul, and Broya blank. Martinelli left on the bench, unfortunately, but couldn't really justify starting him over anyone, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you made the right calls as far as your starters this week, and it really worked out being the the pyramid formation for you, which worked out beautifully. A defensive haul, and you had a great game week despite having a horrible captaincy. Besides that one decision, I think that shows that you made pretty much all the right decisions. So good game week.
It's a strong squad. Probably unfortunately the wrong captain decision, but the fact that I still got a green arrow definitely tells me that I've got a pretty strong squad, which should be looking good going forward.
Yep.
Moving on to your team.
Yep. As for mine, a little bit stronger of a captaincy, but really not much. And honestly, there probably wasn't much of a difference in the actual chance of Rafinha versus Rudiger getting any sort of return. They were probably about the same, and it was just lucky that Rudiger got the clean sheet. Although it was unlucky that he didn't play the second game. I don't know what's with that. In retrospect, Rudiger also not a great captain choice. Coutinho, I know you said you had the armband on Coutinho for a while last week, as did I. And we both ended up switching it, and it cost us a lot of points.
It was honestly a lot of those little decisions this week made a huge impact on people's overall rank movement. Captaining Rafinha versus Coutinho, bringing in Reece James versus Rudiger, like massive movements.
Yeah, for real. People are saying calling it high variance, I believe is the terminology being used.
Yeah.
So a high variance week. Yeah, Kane, nice to have him. Last week we were talking about the fact that I got rid of Son to bring in Kane on my wild card, which was definitely a risky decision, but one that has already paid off just in that time alone. And I'm really glad that I went with that decision because Kane just looks better from an FPL perspective. So I'm glad I have Kane. That being said, I also have Che Adams. I don't know what I was thinking because somehow I went into a wild card owning Trent Alexander-Arnold and came out of it owning Che Adams. So I think whenever something happens like that, you have to sort of question the decisions that went into that. But we live and we learn. I also had a bench that hauled. I guess you could call that unfortunate as far as my starting decisions. I probably should have thought more about starting Robertson and Saka, but it's fun. I still had a decent game week. I did drop in rank. I dropped about 2k. It's not the end of the world, but I'll look to make it better for this coming week.
Still in a good position to finish strongly.
Indeed. All right. Clean sheet odds. Your boy Pickford at Everton up here at a 56% chance of a clean sheet. Any thoughts on that, Jarrett?
I think he has a a 56% chance of conceding in each game.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any shot he keeps clean sheets. Everton look like they're going to get relegated.
Yeah, I think it is interesting how these odds are calculated, and I think it's important to take a lot of these numbers with a grain of salt. Just like a couple weeks ago when you made the call about Man City and Tottenham, about the bookies just overestimating certain teams' chances of clean sheets. I think clean sheets is one of those areas where you have to take stats with a certain grain of salt, especially when it comes to teams like Everton, despite having a double game week. I think we've learned this season that double game weeks can be a trap. Liverpool, however, have an even higher chance, and I think we would all confidently say that is not a trap for this week.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm very happy that I have double Liverpool defenders for this week. But besides that, I mean, there are a lot of very high probabilities for clean sheets this week. Look at those top 6. They're all 47% or higher, and 4 of those teams have doubles. So I would definitely think that this should be a pretty high-scoring defensive game week for sure.
Absolutely. All right. And for the captain poll, Harry Kane rejoins us, of course, along with Trent, Son, and Saka. But the star of the show tonight, as always, is the legend Mohamed Salah. He has almost 70% of the vote. I mean, again, just captain Salah. I mean, geez, why are you even thinking about it? Like, just be a sheeple and captain Salah. There are people triple captaining him this week. He's going to have a pretty high EO. I just don't see any reason to not captain him. Thoughts?
Yeah, to be totally honest, I'm a little surprised at how big the difference is between Salah and Kane's percentages here, because Kane is in very good form, and I would argue that he has the better fixtures than Salah, because it comes down to at Man United versus at Arsenal, and I definitely think Arsenal are significantly better than Man United. I am a biased Arsenal fan. But that being said, it's Mo Salah in a double game week. No brainer. You got to captain him.
As for the goal scorer odds, obviously Salah's going to score, Kane is going to score, Son is going to score. These are guarantees. We will not refund you if you make this decision and it does not go according to plan, because it will go according to plan, because these people will score. Bamford will score. It's Norwich. Jarrett, would you like to continue?
Of course. Mahrez will probably hit a pen top bins, because that seems to be all he does these days. Lukaku shouldn't be on this list. Jota is going to miss multiple sitters, like he usually does.
And still get 10 points, probably.
Yeah, he might score one of those tap-ins and get an assist or something. And no bonus, because he almost never gets bonus. Lacazette is going to have multiple back heel assists, like he did against Watford. It seems to be all he does these days. Sterling will get benched. Broja and Adams will get 2 points, but Adams costs 2.5 mil more. Saka is goated. Don't doubt him. And Weghorst is daddy. Have faith.
Daddy Weghorst. And I guess that is probably a good segue into into next week's picks, because you, of all people,
I'm starting Daddy Weghorst.
Yes, a bold move to say the least. Do you want to explain your reasoning here?
I believe. No. So I'll start with that one, sure. So it kind of comes down to starting Weghorst or Broja for me. And Broja's gotten 2 points 5 game weeks in a row. I think every game week that I've owned him, he's gotten 2 points. and Veghorst has done slightly more than that. And they're both playing pretty bad teams. So I'm going to go with Veghorst. He's just the more exciting option, I think. Besides that, I've got triple Arsenal this week with Ramsdale, Martinelli, and Saka. Hoping for some big hauls there. I've got triple Liverpool with the Salah captain. I've got double Spurs. Brought in Doherty this week. I'm pretty excited to see if he can continue his returns. And then my single game week players this week. Rafinha, home against Norwich. He's been in terrible form, and so have Leeds. But it's Norwich. It's a must-win game for Leeds. We'll see if hopefully he can do something. Coutinho,
especially with Bamford probably back.
Oh, especially with Bamford back. I'm hoping. And then Coutinho obviously had a mega haul last week. It'd be stupid, I think, to bench him this week, given the form he's in. And West Ham aren't exactly a great defense. So, yeah. I'm pretty excited to see how my team does this week, which means I'll probably get a terrible score.
Yeah. Well, no, I think I'm looking at your team. I'm definitely pretty scared to see the turnout of this coming game week. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double game week players, which is already a great amount. And on top of that, your single game week players have good fixtures. So
yeah,
I think a lot of people, including yourself, will be expecting 80 or 90 plus point hauls this game week.
Definitely. I did have to take a hit for my team. I took a -4, but yes. I think it's justified. All right. Yep.
So here's my team. I actually haven't made my transfers yet. So it looks worse than it will be, but it looks like I have players actually cut off at the bottom. But that's James down there, sitting in the middle of my bench. I'm very likely going to transfer him out for Doherty, and that will actually leave me with a bit of a benching headache. I will probably end up benching Rudiger or Adams for Doherty, but that's a decision to be made tomorrow, not today. I'm just going to wait until the last possible minute, genuinely, just to... I'm not going to catch any price drops, so I figured I may as well save it. Another one I'm considering is bringing in Kulusevski for this week. But the issue is I would almost certainly be bringing him in for Willock, which Willock has been playing... has not been... up to my standards as an FPL manager for the one game week I've had him. But that being said, he does have a double this week. It seems kind of silly to bring him out for Kulusevski. Really, I would only be gaining the game week 30 game that Kulusevski has next week. And while I would fancy Kulusevski to score more than Willock this week, to me it just seems much more reasonable to bring in Doherty for James, which is essentially a net gain of 3 games played, so probably at least 6 points versus James' 0 games played. So that's what we're looking at. Our teams again are pretty similar with a few key differences, but I mean, who knows? Maybe Che Adams will score a hat trick this week. So.
No, talking about your debate about Willock versus Kulusevski, especially given that would probably be for a hit, since you, I think, are going to do the James to Doherty transfer no matter what. I think it is kind of hard to justify Willock to Kulusevski for a -4, just because he does have a double game week, and one of his double game week fixtures is against Everton, who look terrible. So I think you're probably making the right decision there.
Yeah. And on top of that, the reason I kind of brought Willock in the first place was because he had 2 double game weeks in a row. It does seem a bit silly and counterproductive to just bring him out after the first one not working out. I need to take a little bit more of a long-term mindset on decisions like these.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, the last thing is that I'm I am scared of not having Trent. I really do hope that he gets a red card this next game. We'll see if he actually does.
I'm hoping for a mega haul.
Yeah, a Trent mega haul would send me plummeting in the ranks. So, yeah. Fingers crossed on this one. I'm going to be watching that game from behind the couch.
All right. That being said, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share this video to your friends who play FPL, and make sure to also check out our Instagram and Twitter. The handle is right there at how_2FPL. We're making an Instagram post at least once a week, tweeting pretty regularly, so definitely check that out.
Yeah, and hey, if you want to see more insightful analysis like this every week, just come on, watch our videos. Tell your friends.
Hit that subscribe button. Ring that bell.